I'm Mary Omatiga, and today I'm at Ossining High School, which is essentially the heart of the village. Hundreds of students come to this very field day in and day out, training with the hope of becoming a professional athlete. Today, I'll be talking with one of the few who was able to make that dream a reality. Former Major League Soccer player Mike da Fonte is going to share about his journey to the Pro League and maybe even take us through some soccer drills. Let's go see what he's up to. Mike, thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
So let's start from the beginning. How did you fall in love with soccer? Do you have a specific memory that comes to mind?
Yeah, so I played soccer. I started when I was 5 years old, but I think when I was about like 8 or 9, I went to, used to be called the Metro Stars, they're now the New York Red Bulls. They had a first game of the season, and before the game started, they used to play at Giant Stadium. They had like these games that we could go play. So I went and played a couple of the games, and they called me on at halftime of the game and to do a juggling competition. And there was like 6 of us, and actually won the competition, saw myself on the big screen. I was like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So now let's fast forward to college. You went to 3 different schools before deciding that it wasn't something you wanted to do. What led to your decision to drop out and ultimately pursue soccer full time?
Well, I never really wanted to go to school to begin with. I always wanted to play professional soccer. I went to school just kind of for my family because that's what everyone thought you needed to do. And I had an agent at the time that kind of was giving me bad advice to keep transferring as well. But I mean, everything happens for a reason. But I always knew that I wanted to play professional soccer and didn't want to be in school. I knew I was just spending money and wasting time that I could be using to get further in what I wanted to do.
You mentioned that it was something that your family really wanted you to do. How did they react to the news when you told them that you were dropping out?
It wasn't the best. I mean, I kind of got kicked out of my house for a little while. I was couch surfing with some of my friends. I was figuring out where I could live for 4 months and going on tryouts here and there, and it wasn't good. But then eventually my family kind of understood I was being serious about it. They let me come back, and then from there I was able to like springboard to where I needed to go.
Wow, so how difficult was that time for you? I mean, couch surfing, you don't have a job, you don't have a place to stay, and it seems like at the time no support. What was that process like?
It was definitely tough. I mean, I knew I had a limited amount of money from just savings from until I was 18. I didn't have a job or anything like that. So it wasn't easy. And then you didn't have any stability. I didn't know when I was going to be able to work out and train consistently or when I was going to eat consistently. So it was like a really tough time, but I think that it helped me grow because it made me people realize like, hey, this kid is not messing around. Like, he really wants this. And I showed everybody that like, this is what I wanted.
So as someone that's lived in Ossining, I feel like I've seen you training everywhere and anywhere, whether that's running the stairs at the train station, coming to this field when it's covered in snow and shoveling, or just doing conditioning in super, super hot weather. What makes you so resilient?
I think that it comes down to the fact that like I was playing rec soccer until I was in 8th grade, and like some kids at that point were already playing on youth national teams and playing at the best academies, and like there was only one way I was ever going to catch up, and it was to train 10 times harder, 10 times more than these kids were, so I could eventually catch up, which thank God I did because I was able to make it to the MLS. But I think it was just the fact that like I was just so hungry and I just wanted it so bad, and like people just didn't really understand because like I literally lived by like every second you're not training, someone else is. And like that's the motto of my coaching company now, but it's literally what I thought. When I was sitting down watching TV, I knew another kid was out there that was training, that wanted to be better, that was trying to be better than me, and I was like, I was not going to let that happen. So I think that's kind of what motivated me to be better and better and better.
Was there ever a moment that you doubted yourself?
Oh, all the time. I got hundreds of no's, and every single one you're like, especially during those 4 months where I wasn't staying at home. I was no, and I was like, damn, I just dropped out of college, and I don't have a job, and I don't have a degree. What am I going to do now? So it kind of got to the point where I was like, uh-oh, like what am I about to do? But you eventually get that one yes, and it makes it all worth it.
So knowing all that you know now, what advice would you go back and give 20-year-old Mike da Fonte that was grinding, doing everything with a hungry mindset?
I just think just don't give up, you know? Like, granted, I wouldn't tell people follow my blueprint because like I didn't do everything right. Like I didn't have any guidance either. Like I was just figuring out, nobody helped me. Nobody was there to guide me along and be like, hey Mike, this is the next step. No, I was there figuring it out myself. But I just think it's like never give up. Like there's gonna be no, but it's how many no's can you get to the first yes? And I think that's what I was never sure was gonna come. I wasn't ever sure if I was gonna get that first yes, but like I didn't care. I was just gonna keep going. I think that's what would have helped.
Well, your hard work paid off. You signed your first contract with Espinho in Portugal. Describe the emotions you felt that day.
I remember when I first left America and I was going on trial with a bunch of teams over there, I was super excited. I didn't speak the language, so I was so super nervous. My family was over here. I had nobody over there, so I was by myself. But I remember signing the contract there, and I was just like so excited because like it's what I've been dreaming of my entire life. And I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I didn't make much money while I was there. Like it's not a glamorous lifestyle when I was there, but lived across the street from the beach. Can't beat that. I had a restaurant to eat at, a free apartment, and they gave me a couple of bucks each month. So like it was a good way to start my career. But it was no way like I'm driving a Lamborghini and doing all this stuff. That wasn't the case. But it was a springboard for my career to start.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned your family was here. I know that your dad is Portuguese. How much did it mean to your family and to him specifically, knowing that that was the place where you signed your first contract, Portugal?
I think it was just more, I don't know that it meant that much. It was just lucky. Like I think like 4 months before that, I had just got my Portuguese citizenship. So it made it that much smoother of a transition. It would have been a lot harder if I was an American trying to go there, but it was a lot easier since I was Portuguese that I was able to sign a contract because then you get work permits and stuff like that a lot easier. But yeah, I think that like I was able to go over there and learn the language and like the culture and the food and all this stuff. And I think that it helped me personally grow as a person as well, being so far, not having any help and having to figure things out for myself.
Were you intentionally going to get your Portuguese citizenship at the time, or was it just coincidence?
It's just coincidence.
Wow.
Yeah, it was coincidence. I went to a tryout. My first real agent saw me, and he was Portuguese, and he brought me to Portugal, and it was just very random coincidence.
Wow, it was fate.
Yeah, right.
So eventually you made your MLS debut with the New York Red Bull, which is, I mean, basically your backyard compared to Portugal.
Yeah.
Describe that moment for me. What was the emotion?
So when I played for Red Bulls, I was playing for their 2 team, which was the USL. But then they brought me up to play against Chelsea, which is one of the best teams in the world, and I played for the first team then. My real MLS debut was with Colorado, and I had signed there after I played for Sacramento, and we had just played I had been there for like 2 months, working hard, hadn't got my chance yet. And we had just got beat in Chicago, and we were going to Philadelphia, and my parents and my sister came down to watch, and my best friends came down to watch, and they all surprised me, and that's when I got my debut, was in front of all of them. So that was super special to me.
Wow. You've had an amazing journey, an amazing career. So what led to your decision to retire?
It just gets to a point where I'm sure everyone kind of understands this, but in life there's politics, in work, in school, and everything there's politics involved. And it's got to a point where in soccer the politics just got to be a little too much. I didn't care for it anymore. And I started to grow my coaching company. Like I started in 2014, but very small. It was literally here. Me and my brother were training here. I went up to a kid over here, asked his dad if he wanted individual sessions, and that's how it started in 2014. Then each year it grew a little bit more, and I'd come back for the off season, me and my brother, and then we'd train, we'd leave. But then I had left one of my last teams, and I started to pick up a little bit more clients. We'd be out here 6 hours a day in the summer, and it got to the point where it was like, oh, I really enjoy this, and it's a way that I can support myself and like for a living, a career. And then it got to the point where it's like, do I continue playing soccer where it's like I could get hurt tomorrow and never make another dime in my life, or do I continue to grow something that's I enjoy, that the kids get a lot of benefit out of, and it's helping me make a living for myself? So I kind of was like, I'm gonna go with this. And plus I've been away from my family, my friends for so long. It was nice to finally be back. Come on. Orange. There we go. Back in. Good. Orange. Well done. Good. Blue. Speed. Good. Nice. Blue. Get there. Come on, Max. You're trying to guess. Don't guess.
How is it being on the other side of the ball as a coach?
I like it because I see all the kids going through what I went through, and now, like I said, I didn't have someone to guide me before. Me and my brother have been through everything. So I know how the college process works. I know how to get them to the better club teams. I know how the professional system works. I know agents. I know everybody. So like when they get into a situation like their parents don't know or they don't know, they come to us, ask, and we help them through this process.
What advice would you give to your athletes, or really anyone that has a dream that seems impossible?
It always seems impossible until the first yes. I mean, if you look at the mile, nobody had ever beat the 4-minute mile, and the first time somebody did, the next year, 15, I think people beat it. So like, it's impossible until you see someone do it, and then you're like, oh, I can do that too. So I think it's just about not giving up, but you have to put in the hours. A lot of people don't understand there's a lot of sacrifice in this. I didn't drink, I didn't go to parties, I didn't talk to girls growing up. It was just, I was focused because I knew what I wanted, and I was gonna sacrifice now so that later on life, I was going to achieve things that other people couldn't achieve because they weren't going to put the hours in here that I was doing. Me and my brother used to do triple sessions a day at this field, at AMD, all over the place. And it was just because we knew what we wanted. And people, like you said, always saw us. We're always training, we're always at the field, we're practicing, running, all over the place. But that's because we knew what we wanted.
Speaking of achievements, you're now a real estate investor and you're literally flipping homes, doing all the work by yourself. How did you get into that?
So during the pandemic, I mean, I was smart during my career too. I didn't go out, I wasn't flashy, so I saved a lot of my money. And during the pandemic, I started doing a lot of research about homes, using different blogs, podcasts and stuff. And I started to like educate myself, and I started to realize, well, there's a lot of tax breaks in this. There's a lot of benefits, residual income like each month. So I just realized I was like, oh, I don't want to have to work all the time. I want to be able to like make money while I sleep, because that's the only way to continue to grow your wealth. And I went and purchased my first home. With me and my sister did it a year and a half ago, and then since then I bought 2 more. But now I'm going to slow down. Like, I know I need to like kind of get everything under control, but everything's been going good, and it's become like a passion of mine as well.
That's incredible. You said slow down, and I'm like laughing because your version of slowing down is probably a lot of people's hard work. What keeps you going? Why are you so motivated?
I think it's just I had to direct my like hunger when I was playing and training to like be the best all the time to something else, and now it started to go into real estate, and like it always is like in fitness and stuff like that. And then in my coaching too, I'm always trying to push that and do more with the kids and push them to get better. But I think it started going to real estate too, but I needed an outlet because I couldn't just go from being competitive every single day in my life and getting judged by coaches, fans, other players all the time to just living like a mundane life. Like I had to be like pushing myself for more stuff. So I think I was able to channel it into some real estate now too.
All right, cool. Well, switching gears a little bit, are you ready for some rapid fire questions?
I am ready, yes.
Can you handle it? Are you
yes,
sure?
I got this.
All right. What's harder, renovating a home or trying to become a professional athlete?
Ooh, there's a couple times when I did cry in my houses when I was fixing them up, so I might say renovating homes.
Who was your favorite soccer player growing up?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Why?
Yeah. Just because he was Portuguese, and I'm half Portuguese, but I just enjoyed the way he played. When I was younger, I was an outside mid, so I used to like to watch him and like Charisma play, because I used a lot of skills, and that's what me and my brother used to play 1v1 in the street all the time and do that stuff.
Favorite stadium you've ever played in?
Ooh, favorite stadium I ever played in. That's a tough one. Wow. I think when I was in Ecuador, we played against Liga de Quito, and they had like 40,000 people in their stadium. Or we played in the Seahawks Stadium in Seattle too, and there was like 50,000, 60,000 people there. So that was a big one.
Cool. What artists are you listening to on game day?
You know, I didn't listen to music.
Really?
I was just zoned in. I didn't need to listen to anything. I was just good.
Oh my God. Did you have like a mantra or something you said to yourself?
I just drank Red Bull before the game, and that was good.
Oh my God, I'm dead. So I guess you didn't have a hype song then?
No, I didn't do anything.
Okay. What is your guilty pleasure and why is it 90 Day Fiance?
Oh man. A couple years ago I got into, I was sick. I had strep throat, and I was on like Hulu, and I was looking for a random show to watch, and I was like, what is this? I've heard of it. Put it on. I was hysterically laughing. I showed my brother and my sister. They got into it, and then since then I've gotten my sister, my girlfriend, my mom, everyone into this. We're like, we will watch it religiously every Sunday night.
Oh my God, I love it. It's a family affair.
Yes.
Call TLC. What's one food that you can't resist?
One food I can't resist. Peanut butter and jellies.
Uncrustables, the sandwiches?
No, make them with the Italian bread. It's the best.
Chunky or smooth peanut butter?
Smooth.
Nice. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Checks over stripes?
Yeah.
If you had to choose another sport to play professionally, what would it be?
This is gonna be, I think, like UFC or boxing.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would be something like that, because I'm a little crazy when I play soccer, so I'd have to be like crazy in that as well.
I love that you went from a team sport to doing something
Individual,
solo.
because like, yeah, like soccer is individual to get professional, but you do need the team involvement. So like if you're playing great, but there's 10 other guys that aren't playing great, you're still gonna lose. But like individual, like it's just solely based on you. So if I just have a bad day at the office, I'm done. But if I do good, it's because it's me, you know?
Valid. How would your best friends describe you?
I think that they would say I'm confident, hardworking, and like I am very impatient.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, okay. Good to know. What's your favorite thing about the World Cup, and what are you most looking forward to?
I think that just the fact that there's so much soccer on every single day. Like right now, like there's no soccer to watch and stuff. So when the World Cup comes, I get to watch 3-4 games a day, and it's like every single day for an entire month or so. So I think that's the most enjoyable thing, to be able to watch with your friends, talk about the games. Everyone's so into it too. There's so much hype created. People that don't watch soccer watch the World Cup. So I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Who are you rooting for?
Portugal. I know I'm American, but I don't know. It's Portugal. I think just has a better chance at winning this World Cup.
Okay, fair. Well, thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah.
Signing off, I'm Mary Omatiga.